everyone. I, Anushka Bajpayee, welcome you all to the very first episode of the series Tech Talks by Anushka. The series is all about real stories evolving around the people who are there in the tech from years. We'll get to learn about their experience, their challenges, and how they overcome that. Today, in the very first episode, we have with us Tarak, a curious learner in the field of DevOps and DevSecOps related to security and AI. So basically, we'll start with the very basic and we'll have a brief introduction from the man himself. So, Tarak, welcome.
Yes. Hi, Anushka. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very happy to speak with you and to speak with our community as well. So this is exactly what I said previously. For me, it's like when people wants me to be an expert or on anything, could be security, DevOps, or cloud. I really want to take a step back and just say that as long as you are curious and you constantly want to learn, whatever you level, you can learn. Especially with AI now, AI is the new tech. It happened like it was released, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, not even.
Yeah.
So we always need to keep the mindset of it. But maybe if we could take a small step back on who I am. I started my career when I was 20 years old. I'm 36 years old now. I have a double degree one in business and one in law, in corporate law. And then I joined a lot of enterprise companies like Deloitte, like Continental, Sodexo, Barfield, and so on. And then now I'm creating with my co-founder Justine Infracode Base to actually help all of our community be more at ease using agentic AI and building cloud infrastructures. And it's my third startup.
Okay, great, Tarak. So, as I get to know that your background was not specifically tech based from the starting, so it would be
Yes.
really nice to know that how you started your journey in the same.
So I was lucky enough to follow one of my best friends who actually found out about a startup called Brainboard. And I really like the mindset of the product itself. It was helping people um, design cloud infrastructures. So this is how everything started. I'm very thankful for Shafiq and for the early team, because when I joined, we were 4 people in Paris. But this is where I actually fell in love with our space, and this is where since 3 or 4 years ago I always wanted to share my own learnings, share as well how people could actually learn how to make it accessible. And now I'm pursuing that with Infracode Base, which is totally different vision. The vision now is actually helping people better leverage agentic AI and build or manage either greenfield or brownfield cloud infrastructures.
Okay, so infracode base is basically more about helping people with agentic AI. And
It's so we have two motion. The first one is what we call the B2C motion. Is like everyone in the world is how can we level up the knowledge field on cloud infrastructures and AI, and that's why we have a lot of ambassadors. I'm lucky enough to build an ambassador program with people from Australia, from India, from Canada, from Europe, and from Colombia. And then the other one is like B2B. B2B is more for enterprise. It's also more for big consulting firms in the world. Our target market is basically Fortune 500, Fortune 1000. So we have really two motions.
yeah, there
One is to make access. One is to make things accessible for our community, and the other one is actually to work with enterprise companies.
okay, it's B2B also, and then it's to leverage also. Okay, it's have two
Mhm.
fixes. Great, Tarak.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll wish you best with the same.
Thank you.
And next, like as you mentioned, you started from a non-tech background, and then you build like four of you were there to build and have a dream about this. What were the early challenges you faced, and also that if I see 5 to 6 years back from now, there were not much resources related to the specific field, because now we have communities. There are various communities. We have person whom we can address the issues. We have YouTube, and we have like many videos of the same that challenges the people have faced, and we can learn as a young generation today. But at
Yes.
that time, there were not many resources because that field was in develop.
Yes. So one thing, if we also take a step back on that, HashiCorp, so the company who created HCL, so Terraform,
Yeah.
existed for more than, I will say, 12 years. Time is flying so fast, but I will say for a long time. So communities already existed. I am not saying that we created the first community on infrastructure as code. It would be too pretentious for me to say that, but it's like when you're building a business. The same thing for infra code bases. How can we make a difference today that we have a lot of companies trying to basically revolutionize, which I don't really like, but revolutionize DevOps is as long as you think about user first and community first, what like 2 years ago or now, it's kind of the same thing. How can you make a difference? How can you build an amazing product that people love to use and love to share?
Yeah. Yeah,
The
that's
only difference now that I will see is more on the AI part, but the challenges that we face today are really the same ones, almost the same ones as the ones I faced 3 or 4 years ago when I started my journey on cloud.
yeah, but it's just that at that time you have to have a lot of research to search the solution, or you have to go through a lot of like resources. But now they are a little more easily accessible, if we can say that.
Yes, but also we really need to pay attention, because it doesn't mean that because there are so many resources now that they're all good quality.
Yeah.
So every day now, people from the world reach out to me to tell them for me to mentor them on infrastructure as code. Could be on Purumi, on OpenTofu, on Terraform, whatever. But it's like, even though things exist now, I think it's more challenging for people because they see so many resources everywhere that they want to have a central place where they can learn and they can build. So it's not because we have way more resources now that we make things easy. I think it makes it
Makes confusion.
more challenging. Yes.
Like it's more confusing now.
Yes.
Whom to
That's why
trust.
I really want to build a community around like technical, hands-on, and not really theories.
And most important, trustable. Uh,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Tarak, can you explain DevSecOps in simpler terms, because for the audience, because as we have different terms given like DevSecOps, DevOps, and the audience
Yes.
takes it like it's a big heavy a buzzword they all created now. So, can you
Yes.
just cut down this buzz?
Yes. So for me, DevSecOps, even before speaking about product, it's also mindset. Like DevOps for me is not a product, it's mindset that everyone should adopt when we're working on tech. So for me, DevSecOps is two things. The first one is being able to represent all the steps of a project, going from, let's say, the first specification. Then once you have the specification, either you do the design or you do the code, and then you are going to deploy the infrastructure that you created. Here, what is really interesting for me is like all of these steps, even at the step of specification, you always need to think about how can I make my infrastructure or my product like usable, like that people like to use, but also secure.
Yeah, secure.
So that's why for me, DevSecOps means you first need to represent the entire pipeline and then really understand for each stages of the pipeline, where would you like to embed security? Because one of the challenges that I see as well, working, for example, at Aikido, Aikido is a scale up in Belgium. It's an amazing company as well. But one of the challenges that I saw, it was a miscommunication between security team and developers.
Okay.
So that's why for me, DevSecOps or security only work if we embed security as part of the pipeline. Not something that you think after you provision an infrastructure, but like step one. And that's why a lot of people speak about shift left. Is like day one, you start your project, you think about how you can embed security for all the steps. So two things here. The first one is having a global representation of all the steps of the project, and the second one is basically the collaboration between, for example, for us, cloud security and cloud practitioners or cloud or DevOps. It's like you always need to think about the relationship between teams.
Okay, so like you are saying that in each stage of a pipeline, we need to implement security based on the stage.
Yes.
Yeah, so like
So
can
you
you,
map out
yeah.
all the steps, and then for each steps, basically you embed security for all of them. And you can only do that if you're working with the security team, in my opinion.
And like what are the security checks which you feel are mandatory stage wise, or if you can elaborate on any tools which we
Yes.
can use? Yeah.
Yes. So, for example, for infra base, when I'm monitoring people using our product as well, is like, yes, of course, we can generate code, but code has never, for me, code is not the bottleneck. So you can generate code on ChatGPT, on other products, but really the mindset that I would like people to adopt when they use infra base is, yes, I'm going to generate code, but even before creating a repository on the Git provider, for example, GitLab, GitHub, or anything, make sure that, for example, you run basic like TFSec, checkoff, Terraform plan, Terraform validate. Like that, you also do the code security and the code quality review, which is very important for me. So like that, when you reach prod, you don't realize that you have security vulnerabilities or misconfiguration, because actually by shifting left and then you embed security at the code creation level, then all of your pipeline now it's more secure, I would say.
Yeah, so like
So you have
basically in companies, like apart from having two teams, like one of for the security, one for the DevOps, the team will, there should be a one single team that is building the pipeline with the security embedded in it.
So this is very interesting what you're speaking about, because it makes me think about what we call the producer and consumer model. Producer are basically the people who create, for example, all the security guidelines, all the guardrails, all the specification and everything. So this could be, for example, the security team. Another team, which could be called consumer, actually going to use the work of the first team to continue working, but in more secure way. So this is what, for me, the pure definition of platform engineering is: producer and consumer. Producer being, for example, security team, and consumer being, for example, the DevOps people.
Okay, yeah, right. So now, if we come on the AI part, like I would like to know that how the shift from the AI, the shift which AI have driven, how it impacted your learning graph, and also how you felt like how it eased your work and how you use. Because again, as you previously mentioned, that we need to be very careful while using AI products and what we are consuming as a consumer, as an end users. So, what
Yes.
all challenges or what are the you changes you feel that the AI has been impacted on your learning graph or the working style and how you have been used those AI tools? If you
Yeah.
can.
So for me, one thing that no matter what product we use, when we use AI, one thing that we really need to understand is that at first, when you first try or use it, it doesn't have the full context.
Yeah.
So, for example, first it doesn't have the full context. Then sometimes it's a black box, and then once you write a prompt, instead of writing, for example, a spec, it starts directly like building. That's why with my co-founder, we really found about building the AI foundation layer, where you have like different, like I said, layers. You have enterprise, you have workspaces, then you have rules, workflows, and so rule set, workflows, and tools. Tools are basically MCPs, because like that, we go from an indeterministic approach to a more deterministic approach. And what does it mean? It means that by embedding all the context directly in the AI, then once we start building, the AI will follow exactly what we want to produce. So, like I said, we could work on the brown field, we could work on the green field, we could go from something already provisioned on Azure or AWS. But whatever we work on, by embedding like all the context, so this is why a lot of people now speak about context engineering. Then AI is basically helping you go faster, but with no trade-off on security. So that's why a lot of people are now using AI everywhere in the world to ship code. But like I heard an expression, I'm sorry for my language, but I heard a lot of people say we ship shitty code. Why shitty code? The code, of course, is not shitty, but it's because we almost forget the security one-on-one lesson on code quality review, on code security review when we use AI. Actually, I think it's way more important to do this, to work, to think of AI as a coworker. Like even before AI, whatever we do, we need to do reviews. Now it's not because we use AI that we forget about doing this reviews. So that's why, for me, AI, if we know how to use it well, it could really be an enabler. And that's why I also fight against it to say that AI is going to replace us. AI is not going to replace us because AI, if we perceive new tech, so AI, automation, and anything as an enabler, it will be one. If we perceive AI as a way to be replaced by AI, then at the end of the day, no matter what we do, if we don't learn the new tech, we cannot adopt and we cannot adapt the way of thinking. So that's why I think AI, it's a positioning mindset that we need, that all of us worldwide we need to adopt.
Yeah, I agree to your point that AI replacing humans is a very bad myth, which is widespread. Actually, we are in that field now. We are in the field of the tech, and in this field, we need to evolve every day. There are challenges, there are changes every day happening. There are technological revolutions. So, being in the
Yeah.
tech field, you need to have the mindset of keep on learning, keep on growing, because each day the tech is going to be changed. Every with with every minor change, you have to evolve yourself, you have to change to that tech to use that.
Yes.
So basically
But
AI is not replacing. Yeah.
that's why at first, when, for example, the first word that I said is curiosity.
Yeah.
Because if you're curious enough, then you will learn, for example, AI. So I'm not an AI engineer, but I'm building with my co-founder an AI product. So why do we do that? Is because also we are very curious. We always try to push the limits of what could exist to improve our everyday life. And
Yeah,
this is what we try to do with InfraCode.
that's correct, because in the every corner of the world there is some changes in the language, there is some changes in the there is new product launch, there is something which is added to the tech, so we need to adapt ourselves with the rapidly changing world. And that's
Yes,
what this and that's why this field exists.
exactly. That's why I think, if, to be honest, I don't see expert now because AI, like I said, is a new field. Someone who is saying I am an expert on AI, yeah, but AI, for me, it's like constantly learning. That's
Yeah.
why I really don't want people to call me expert. I can help our community with my own learning, with my own path while building infra base, but I'm not an expert. I am like everyone else, basically.
Yeah, while we'll be saying that we are an expert in AI, they in the other corner of the world there will be a new AI product launching which we have no idea about.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
So
correct.
yes.
I got your point. So on that, what you feel like you must be interacting with the many agents. Like as you said, you are building a startup. So in that, you have must have been got a chance to interact to the various people around the world, and so the young generations also that who have just stepped into this career. So what all
Mhm.
challenges you have to listen? Like what is the basic or most common mistakes they do, and what you know?
I don't like the word mistake because mistake is part of learning. If we don't do mistake, we don't learn. So for me, it's like challenges, I would say. And the
Yeah.
main challenge that I see is how can we help our community get started? For example, yesterday I was with a student in Colombia. He just started, and the first thing that he did was to create a GitHub repository, for example, on Terraform. Then I did a session with him to help him actually improve the way he was doing it, and then he understood like, wow, the community is big. That's why I love working on with our community worldwide. The community is big. The community is fair. We don't like bullshit. We like really like straightforward things. But like for every learner is like trying to find a mentor, trying to not think about how can I start, like just push yourself. You want to build an infrastructure or an architecture diagram on AWS, on Azure, go to the official website and start building. Like I also think that now with AI, and especially with what we're doing on Africa base, is like enabling all the builders in the world, and AI makes it more possible now, because I see a lot of people using our product, for example, as a way to either take certifications or as a way, for example, to use InfraCode Base as a mentor.
Yeah.
So it's like, but for a community as well, I would really love to mentor people that are in the need, who don't know how to get started. I can dedicate a lot of time to help a community on doing that.
Yeah, like can we have some glimpse of a like the website which you talked about recently? Like if you can share your
Yes.
screen and would be helpful.
Yes. So the website is called infracodebase.com.
Okay.
You can create an account, and then once you get an account, you will get started directly. So here I could also help our community get started, and then one thing that I promise myself is like, the community will not have to pay for a product. It's really something that I want to enforce, is like refer program. That's why we build with my team a refer program. It's like for each person that you onboard on the product, you earn 50,000 tokens. So we wanted to be really generous on that as well. So like that's, like I said, two motion, B2B and B2C motion. And for today, really, me, I'm very focused on the B2C motion.
Yeah, helping
And then you
individuals.
focus on the B2B one.
Yeah, okay. Nice. Also, if like you can elaborate on few courses if you have done, or if you feel that if someone is starting today, these courses are like, if they do, because in the market there is a bulk of courses which are misleading also. So if you could share some thoughts on that, like for security basis or for some DevSecOps or
Mhm.
something related, we can have few courses, or you can list down one or two courses which you find useful.
I will share as well my profile, because now I have more than 40, so 40 certifications that I took on LinkedIn Learning, that I took on Code Academy, on both DevSecOps, on learning, for example, how to write Python, how to write SQL and everything, because I really wanted to take a step back on everything that I was doing before and like learn, like, for example, how to code. And that's why I said that as long as you are curious and you have discipline, you can learn everything in the world. There is no one who can tell you you cannot do something. As long as you believe in yourself, as long as you have the discipline to do so, you will achieve everything that you can. And that's why I believe in the product. If people look at it, we built it in less than 2 months. We are growing very fast today, but it's only because discipline, determination, and only focusing on building the best product for cloud community.
Okay, Tarak. And also, like, if you would like to have some advice to the young learners or the achievers, what would be your advice? Like, because in what I feel like, I'm talking about my personal experiences also. Like, in our generation, what we feel is that we give up very easily sometimes. Like, we do get demotivated, and we do feel that we are stuck at a point from where we don't have any way, or we just feel overburdened related to our own negative thoughts. So in your life also, there must be have many parts where you must have been thought same. There must be a negative thinking. You must also have been stuck somewhere. So at that moment, what were your thoughts? How you overcome that negativity in your life, and what advice would you give to, like, to the young generation who feel demotivated and stuck?
I, I don't think I'm going to give a tech advice, but I'm going to give a personal advice. It
Yeah, that's
happens,
better.
it could happen to me as well. I'm not a robot, I'm a human, especially when you're building a company. Sometimes you have doubts, which is totally normal. But when moments like that uh, come to you, then take a step back. For example, for me, I'm an athlete as well. I'm swimming a lot, and usually when, for example, I feel down, because sometimes it can happen, I take a step back from my work. I take a step back from my phone, so and I go swimming. I regenerate myself, and then when I go back to work, I see things differently. I see things with a fresh eye. So for me, first thing is, when you feel like that, don't try to push yourself. Just take a step back. Take a step back. Go do a sport if you want soccer, or if you want football, or if you want, for example, to swim. Whatever you want, just take a step back from work, for your phone and everything, and then, for me, do it. The second one is like mentors. I was lucky enough to find people who believed in me early stage when I was like 20, and even today I have a lot of mentors who still believe in me, who are from around the world. And when I have a doubt, I call them. And I say, what would you do in this case? What do you believe in? And by listening, and I am able to take a step back and see things differently as well. So for me, it's like, first advice is, don't try to push yourself when you feel down. Go and do something else. It could be sport, it could be book, it could be movie feature, whatever you want. Just take a step back on what you're doing. And the second one is try to find mentors and try to listen to them. Don't try to challenge them. They're not here to tell you that you're bad or that you're good. They're just here to tell you not what you want to hear either. Sometimes that's why it's hurtful or painful, but it's like, yeah, listen to the people that you trust and find mentors. That's why I'm always suggesting to be mentors for a community, because it's something that I've done for a long time, and I know that it has had a great impact, I believe.
And also, the experience always counts. Like, there are
And the
challenges,
experience
yeah,
counts.
which we are facing today are the challenges which the mentors have already been faced sometimes, not in the
Yeah.
same way, but in the similar one. So that
Yes.
the advice or the support the mentors give is always special. So I agree
Yes.
on that. Okay.
But that's why the first thing is not a tech advice. The first thing is like a personal advice. Like, if you feel down, take a step back, trying to understand, why am I feeling this way. Maybe it's too easy for me to say, but to be honest, it happens to me every single day. Like, sometimes I have doubts. What do I do? I'm a human. I'm like everyone else. So doubts are part of the journey.
Yes, that's why, like, I agree on the point that we should take a step back, and also, like, while taking the step back, also while doing our favorite hobby or sport, then also we are, of course, we're humans, will be overthinking. Our thoughts will be present there because we know we are stuck somewhere. So taking step
Yeah.
back, also the thoughts will not go, but after 1 hour or after you spend your time on your hobby or your sport, and then when you will come back, those thoughts will be a little lighter and you will be able to think more on that.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so Tarak, thank you for this. Like, this was for today. It was
Thank you
really,
so much.
thank you for joining us today. It was really inspiring, your words, your story, and how you have been starting the startup, being in a non-tech background, of course. That was that was a mystery. That was a
I
surprise for
know.
me too. Like law and then this.
Yes, law, business. But one thing that I want to add as well is, like, if I'm able to do it by the strength of my mind,
Yeah.
is like, I do believe in our strength as a community. So reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active. If you want me to become one of your mentors, then reach out to me as well. I would really like uh, to help. And if I'm able to do it, everyone else is able to do it as well.
Yes, that's the thing. And like last but not the least, like if you could share any roadmap kind of thing, if you followed in your life, or it was just spontaneous and like
It's
just
spontaneous. I am someone
spontaneous.
who trusts my gut, my instincts. Like, even building this company, I jumped with Justin in September, and I say, you know what, I don't have a choice. My mindset is the mindset of a founder. I tried to be employees, and it didn't really work out for me. So also, one advice is, listen to yourself. I tried to push myself for a long time to be an employee at companies and everything, but
Not
now I'm
working
taking
out.
way more pleasure. As a
Right.
founder myself, I really love what I'm doing. So trust your gut, trust your instinct. You don't need to have a 5 years roadmap or anything, because we don't even know what will happen in